For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole, for the homegirls with the scrap game, little homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you've been through. Shit you had to go to. Your mama gave birth on the turf. I know them killers you get to. This for the lost generation, broke as hell, mad and impatient. But if you know your history, you can't have a strong foundation, baby.
You know, lifting weights I was on sport, they start calling me Big Knee.
Six Shakur from Eastside, Bloodstone, Getting by Six. Also known as Shady Eyes, my hood name.
Man, the kid that got to be put on problem, man, they just do you.
I created Corner Pocket in my mother's garage.
They call me Tiny Ant from Rolling 60, but yet known as Tylo Tiny Ant.
Start hanging out, start messing with the Bloods, and then I turned the Bloodstone villain.
Turtle went got his little sawed off, came out there, took one leap over the wall, and just started beating him on his car.
Ready?
You ready?
All right, introduce yourself.
I'm Og Volcano, aka Big Homie, Spooktown, Compton Crips.
How long you been living in Compton?
Been living in Compton since 1969, July 4th, 1969.
Where does your family migrate from?
My mom, she from Louisiana, and my daddy from Texas. They've been out here since they was like 4 and 5 years old and stuff.
What area did you grow up in?
I grew up in Watts. I came from the projects, Jordan Downs projects. I lived in Jordan Downs for the first 11 years of my life. And then we moved to Compton in 1969.
So you say when you moved to Compton in 1969, was it the town? You moved to Spooktown?
We moved right, we've been the same address,
And
right
what
here in
street was
Spooktown.
that?
Reeve Street, right off of Reeve and Willowbrook.
Reeve Street.
Yeah.
So when you moved over there in 1969, was there any gangs?
No,
There was nothing.
It was nothing. As a matter of fact, the white people, that's where we bought our house from. And it was still white people here in Compton. Yeah.
So at what point, so we got 69, so what point did you experience the gangs?
The gangs was like in the early 70s. When I started going to Roosevelt and stuff, we knew of the Crips. We had heard of the Crips, Big Tookie and them. They was quite popular in LA, but it really hadn't hit Compton, you know. But as the years went on, people from LA started moving to Compton, people from Watts. A lot of the people that I grew up and went to school with in elementary school, they started coming to Compton. And then like around junior high school, that's when I first started seeing the gangs right here in Compton.
So do you remember what year that was?
That was like 72.
72. So was the Grandies out at that point?
The Grandies was out. I'd heard of the Grandies and stuff, and then you start hearing the Pyro noise, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you know, the Ludish Park, because we was going to school at Roosevelt, and it was cats that was from that side, and then you had the South Side, but they wasn't South Side at the time.
What were they?
They was US. They was South Park boys.
And
that was
US.
Gangsta Band, and yeah, in US. That's what they were. They was US and stuff. And then I knew Bitter Dog Bruno. Me and Bitter Dog, our parents went to the same church, and I knew he was quite popular on the Crip side. You know, and I was running with Bitter Dog and stuff. And then I really got introduced to this Crippin' through Tookie. When Tookie came to Compton and he started working for Bob Simmons, and the cats was going to school with us and stuff, and they was telling me that they lift weights with Big Tookie, you know, and he was a reputable. You know, and I was into lifting weights and playing sports. And so I asked him, I said, you think he'll let me come over there and lift weights with him? And they was like, I don't know. When he come pick us up, I asked him. And I asked Tookie, and he let me come over there and start lifting weights with him. About 2 weeks into that, that's when they asked me to get initiated. And that's when I got initiated into the Crips, and then I started hanging out with Bruno and them and the Grandies.
So was the town established at that point?
The town wasn't really established. It was a couple of the homies, we established the town.
So you're a founder?
I'm one of the founding fathers of the Spooktown Compton Crip gang.
So can you give me the other founders?
All right, it'd be like Cartoon, my homie Skull. It was Tommy Rose, aka Dice. You know, my brother Cosmo. We the founding fathers of the Spooktown.
So was Robert Earl and Charlie New around then?
Oh yeah, them was my partners and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, they was from Acacia and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Acacia's right across the track. You know, Spooktown, Acacia.
Right.
You know, we always grew up together. And before we was banging, we was all balling together.
Right.
Yeah, we was all into sports.
Before stop. Think of your question and wait till it go, bro.
Okay, yeah, we got all that train noise.
Yeah.
So, Spooktown, right? Was Spooktown ever part of the U.S.? Were there some people that lived in Spooktown?
There was some people that lived in Spooktown. Some of the older guys, Wayne Moore, Pinky, they was part of U.S.
What about Knuckles?
Knuckles was always a Compton Crip. Yeah. Now,
so
because Knuckles had associations, I've heard little rumors. But for those who don't know, Knuckles was always a Compton Crip. Knuckles was never from U.S.
Okay.
I was never from U.S.
Right.
You know, I'd heard some previous word going around town about Spooktown being part of U.S. Spooktown was never part of U.S.
Okay. So, at what point did you either go into the Grandies or did you go to the Red House? Because I know both kind of like came about the same time.
About the same time. I was going both ways. I was on my 10-speed. I was all up and down the laundry anywhere from Lantana to Atlanta Drive. You know, I was kicking it with everybody and stuff.
So who were some of those people? I mean, some of those people that's notable in that Crippin' era that stands out for you.
Well, like I said, Atlantic Drive, that was Big Joe D from Atlantic Drive. From Lantana, it was Big Marcellus. You know, from every hood, like Nutty, I was kicking it with Salty and Frosty. And then from the Grandy, I was kicking it with Bitter Dog Bruno. You know, he's part of that Boot Hill crew.
That's what I was getting at. That's what about Boot Hill.
Yeah.
So this whole Alondra is basically you could say it's a Crip line.
This is a Crip line, just like Rosecrans. You would say that's a bloodline and stuff. Yeah.
Except for Santana.
Except for Santana. No, you can't forget the Tanners. The exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So growing up over here, were you raising, did you have pit bulls? Did you raise pigeons? Did you ever get into that?
Well, my brothers and them, they was into, like, I'm coming from an era where we had German Shepherds. Yeah, we went from the German Shepherds to the pet bulls to the Rottweilers and like that. Yeah, but my brother and them, they had the birds and stuff. Yeah.
So would you say that Reeves was like was it Reeves or Raymond the main street for?
Reeves was the main street. Reeves and Caldwell was the main streets for Spooktown.
Okay.
The homie Cartoon stayed off of Reeves and Alameda, and his house was like the Crip house. Okay. Yeah.
I tried to reach out to Cartoon a couple of times, and he would say that he just.
Okay. Yeah. That was like the Mecca right then.
Right.
Everybody would come over Cartoon's house. Everybody from Mac Thomas to Big Tookie and so forth and so on, from the east side to the west side. And
how's Cartoon doing these days?
He's doing all right. He just recovered from cancer and stuff. He went out to Louisiana for a minute, and he's just now getting back out here. But Cartoon and his brother Bay Roscoe, Bay Roscoe, yeah, he's straight rider, original Spooktown Compton Crip gang.
First time I ran into y'all was at Compton College, and then the second time was at Red House.
Okay, yeah.
I think y'all was up there just doing whatever you do. We ain't gonna get into that, but
Crippin'.
Yeah, that's it. Crippin', one-on-one, man, the one-on-one stuff.
Yes, sir.
So, if you had to name some hand guys, and when I say hand guys, man, I'm talking about the knockouts. I'm talking niggas that
just go from the shoulders.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Put them in.
Yeah. You had cats like Head Honcho, Alvin Trasvan, to name a few. You know, just go from the shoulder cats and stuff.
It's made it look pretty and easy.
Yeah, made it look pretty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, we all grew. I know my era. I'm 62 years old now. But cats from my era, we born in the 50s and the 60s, we looked up to cats like Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't really pistoleros from back in the days in the 60s, growing up in the projects, you had to throw them things. We couldn't even afford guns back in the 60s. We might have had a switchblade, but it was mostly
or a zip gun or
a zip gun or something like that. Yeah, you know.
Nothing more.
Nothing more. Yeah.
But mainly
from the shoulder.
Put these up, man. You had what you got.
Yeah.
Let's line up, man.
Yeah, let's line them up. Right. You know, it was a lot of times, you know, you met cats and y'all got down first. And then after the fight was over, you could shake hands. I'm going to respect you because you could throw him from the shoulders. And then you knew that he was a cat who, if push came to shove, he could get down with you. He wasn't going to run out.
One thing, Volcano, what I want to touch on was the love and camaraderie that the Compton Crips had for another one. Talk about the love and camaraderie that the Compton Crips had for one another. You know what? Not even before the CC rider. We had it when the CC.
We had a special thing going on here in Compton, man. You know, when I first came to Compton from watching in the 60s, even before the gang era, just on the sports thing and stuff, we had a love and we had a camaraderie as being from Compton. You know, if one Compton met another Compton, hey, you from Compton and stuff, and we automatically had that bond.
We had that kinship.
We had that kinship, and it went straight from the sports thing into the gang thing. Right. And once we became like Compton Crips, I don't care, like in the beginning it was just OCC from the grandees. Right. And then later on it broke down into cliques, Park Village, Spooktown, Nutty Block, Santana, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But from day one, it was that camaraderie. As long as you had them 2 C's behind it, it was all good.
Yeah, we all knew where we was from.
It was 2 C's all day long.
Because the Grandies was a Crip stronghold for all
Crips.
All Crips.
Yeah.
No matter what.
The East Side, West Side, Compton, Watts. It didn't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As long as you was Cripping, we all had the same
really
last night.
comfortable in those circumstances.
Under them circumstances.
Because you had people in there that showed you love and that showed you endearment and they cared about you. You was having any type of trouble or struggle, man, they put on for you. Let's go take care of it.
When I first started gang banging and stuff, it was like your family outside of your family. It was your family out here in the streets. And that's what brought me in and stuff, was that family love. You know what I'm saying?
Do you recognize anything today from that resemble any of that we had back then?
You know what? A lot of that has been lost today. When you look and you see all of the set tripping, the Crip on Crip, even in-house, the OGs against the BGs, and y'all all from the same set, you know. And I try to, when I came home from the pen, because I did maybe 25 years behind the wall, off and on, starting in 73 all the way till I got out the pen in 2008. But this last time when I came home and I was looking at the way that they lost all the structure. We had structure back in the days, and that's what kept us together. You know, even behind the wall, we had structure. You know, like I used to tell cats, because I was a shot caller in the pen, and I was telling cats when they came to the pen, I would have like an orientation when the buses come from down south. I would pull them in and say, look, whatever beef you have with whatever black man on the street, you leave that on the street. I can understand if somebody killed your mama, your brother, or something like that, then maybe I'll send you to another yard. But up in here, we don't have that black on black thing. You know, the pen is different and stuff. Everything is go along racial lines and stuff. Mexican mafia, Aryan brotherhood, so forth and so on. Like I said, when I first started going to jail, I don't care if you was a Crip from the east side, the west side, or Watts or whatever. It was just Crip love. We called ourselves the C card. When I first went to the pen back in '81, it was just the C card and stuff, and it didn't matter. All Crips got together on the bleachers, we had our little meetings, and we was united. If you came to the yard and you was a Crip, you had your care package, and you got, you know, laced in the game and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You got orientated as to how the Crips move on the yard. You had, you know, your rules and your regulations, and certain things that we just didn't do, you know, outside of the car. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how we got out.
At what point did you meet Kenny Wayne Johnson, aka Turtle?
Now that's my boy. Me and Turtle, we go way back, man. Like back to junior high school. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So, would it be fair to say that, man, that was one person that exemplified or showed an extraordinary love for
Turtle was special, man. You know, Turtle had a Crip love and stuff. You know, I wish we still had Turtle here today. We need more brothers that have that Turtle mentality. You know, I remember one time I came home and Turtle came scoop me up the next day. It was like, if the state can give you $200, I can give you more. You know, and he took me shopping, he bought me clothes. He like, what you need, big homie? Oh. You know. What's up, Big Junie?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I definitely remember that, because you know I was there.
Yeah,
I was there.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
And Turtle blessed me. You know? He made sure that I had a car. He made sure I had money in my pocket. He made sure I had what I needed to you know, to stand on my own 2 feet. And I appreciated that.
I got another question, man, and for years I've been trying to figure this out, Volcano. Now, I was already at Dominguez, but when you checked in Dominguez, I'm thinking, we finna go to war. That's just my mind when I saw you, because I knew these dudes, they wasn't going to be able to take, because of the personality you was, the big influence you had, you understand? And when you checked in, I said, man, we might as well get ready, we finna go to war. Not that I was not running from it or anything, but I knew what had to be done.
Right.
So tell me about that experience when you checked in Dominguez, and how was that for you?
Well, kind of like I was on the same page as you. I went to Dominguez in the 10th grade to begin with.
Right.
Coming from Roosevelt.
Right.
And Dominguez has always been, back in the days, that was a strong blood, that was a blood stronghold for Ludus Park. Fruit Town and everything else and stuff. And in the beginning, I didn't last like about 4 months and stuff. Them cats knew they couldn't take me from the shoulders and stuff. And so they shot up the bus. I told my mother, I said, I can't go back to this school. I live right here next to Compton High. But if you lived on this side of Willowbrook, you went to Roosevelt. From Roosevelt, you went to Dominguez. And then I got caught a case, went to camp. And when I got out, Compton said, no, you can't go here no more. So I was forced to go to Dominguez. And I already knew, oh, here we go again, you know. But then you had like Atlantic Drive is solidified. You had Southside that was up in there. So I had homies that Crips had cut out a piece of it. And so I was there for about a week. And then it was a cat from Ludus Park, grown ass man.
Malcolm.
Yeah.
New York.
New York.
And this the interesting thing about that, because from my bird's eye, from my point, I felt like the guys that were there, they didn't want no smoke. But so they brought in an outsider, and I think he regretted taking that challenge.
Yeah, he was 22 years old. I was 16 at the time. Yeah. And he came up there during the lunchtime, and he walked up on me. I'm laying down on the grass talking to Dutch sister Karen Brent. He said, you Volcano? I said, yeah. He said, well then get up and erupt. I said, man, get on up out of here. And he tried to kick me, and I grabbed his leg and flipped him and fired on him. I said, man, I can't go to this school. I already knew it was gonna happen. Right. You know. And so then a gang of bloods, they surrounded me, and I'm trying to talk my way out of getting jumped. And I'm telling them, I said, we can go from the shoulders and stuff. I'll take any one of you head up while y'all gotta jump on me. You know,
and they did. They didn't jump on you.
No, they didn't jump on me and stuff, because I had my Crip brothers right there backing me up. And stuff. You know. Then the security came, pulled me in the office and stuff, and then they was like, "Go on back out there. We want you to play football for you." I'm like, man, I don't know if I can go to this school. It's gonna be problems. I already seen it coming. But I went back out. As soon as I get out the door, I got into it with what's his name, from Washington Street.
Shamrock.
He gonna walk up to me and say, "What's up, blood?" And that back then, you know, we took that as a form of disrespect. What's up? Boom, and it was on again. You know, then I seen that it was gonna jump me, and I hopped the fence and got on.
I never understood the relationship between Shamrock and Brackdog, because I felt like Brackdog was from over here, but him and Shamrock was like this.
Yeah. And you know, it was like that with some of us from like day one. Original Crips and Bloods, because we knew each other before we was
from elementary school.
Yeah, from elementary school, from junior high.
It
was cats from Ludus Park that went to Roosevelt, and then when they see me, they're like, "Oh, Mike, you a Crip," and I'd be like, "Oh, so and so, you a Blood." And we might just go, you know, like a little from the shoulders and stuff. When the day is over with, you know, he got a black eye, I got a busted lip, and we can shake hands and say, you know what, I'm gonna respect you. You know, you're a real and stuff. And that's the way it was.
And that's how that went.
And that's how that went.